Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Talk About Money podcast, hosted by me, Stephen Betcher. And today I have some guests that I'm very, very excited about. These are my grandparents. So to me, this is Pop-Pop and Mom-Mom. To you guys, it's Roger and Dottie. And I always like to start by giving a bit of an anecdote. So I gave you some questions ahead of time so you can think about it. But I didn't tell you about the anecdote I always like to do. So Papa, my dad mentioned a story when he was on the podcast, and it's something that means a lot to me and has been really foundational for me as I just even think about the type of man that I want to be. So, Papa, when you were building your life and building your career, right, and you had went to Harvard Business School, and there was an opportunity for you to advance up a corporate ladder, take a big raise, take a big position. It would have led to a lot of prestige and set you on different trajectories. Mm-hmm. It would have also uprooted your family, and you would have had to move. It was Texas, correct?
No,
Michigan. New England. To Michigan, it would be back to Michigan.
So, and right now we're in Pennsylvania right now.
Right.
So you looked at the family, right? And you looked at my mom and my two aunts, so your three daughters.
Yes.
And you evaluated your life, and you evaluated how everyone's doing, how everyone was thriving, and you chose for the good of your family, you did not want to uproot them, and you declined the position. You declined because you weighed, cost-benefit analysis, and you said,
right.
You know what? I'm going to prioritize my family. That matters more than my career. That matters more than money and luxury. And here's another fun fact. We are celebrating my Pop-Pop's 90th birthday tomorrow. And tomorrow, you are going to see, I've lost track of how many there are in our clan.
67.
67.
Yes.
There's going to be 67 people tomorrow celebrating you, who we all love you. We all adore you. We've all been positively impacted by you and benefited from you and from the values that you've instilled in us. And all of this is because of the choices that you made. If you didn't prioritize your family, I wouldn't be here. None of us would be here. I think what's interesting is, as you kind of reflect on this, some people that colleagues or, schoolmates that that did choose the money, they don't have what you're going to experience tomorrow. Yeah. They have 3 or 4 marriages, broken families, broken homes, families, a lot of pain. And when they look back, okay, maybe they have a yacht, but when you have 67 people here tomorrow who all are so happy, I think you're going to be really happy that you have that over having a yacht or over having a mansion and a bigger real estate portfolio.
That's true.
So I want to say, like, your example there, what I always talk about in my seminars is that character matters more than money. And that's a very important distinction to have.
Sure.
And I think that value really comes from your example. So I'm very benefited by you guys. I'm really grateful to have you guys here. I think your wisdom in that decision, just the values that you show, I think it speaks really highly about your character and about who you are. So I really hope tomorrow, as you're reflecting, on turning 90, that you'll see, you really did make some good decisions and you have a family who loves you. So,
thank you.
That being said, sorry, I know, I really admire you guys.
67 years.
Yeah.
2 small town kids, and this is what happened.
Yeah. So my first question for you, I'm really interested in, because I don't know a lot about your childhood.
Yeah.
So what was money like for you growing up, and how did the topic of money impact your childhood? So, real quick, for anyone who's bad at math, you guys were born in 1936?
1936, 1939.
39, okay. Yeah. All right. So childhood in the 1930s, 1940s.
People didn't have a lot of money then, and I think my stepmother didn't trust us, with that much money. So I really didn't have much for money decisions. I did remember in high school there were some girls that were given an allowance for their clothes, and they had to decide how they were going to spend it. They could spend it all on an evening dress, or they could spread it out and so forth. But other than that, other than the fact that I started working in the 6th grade, farm work, so I had my own money, but there wasn't much guidance as far as that went, and I guess we were constrained anyway because there wasn't much money to manage anyhow. So I can't say that in my early years money was much of a factor for me to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very fair.
Yeah. It was really interesting for me, Stephen, because being a girl and all, I remember, I had an allowance when I got to be a little older, but not much. Believe me, it wasn't much. But I remember when it was apple picking time on the farm, I was the one that my dad asked to stay by the radio and listen to the baseball game for the Red Sox. It was up in Boston, and to give all the innings. And so I'd run out to the apple after an inning. I'd have to be able to tell all the players what happened and the whole thing. And I got 10 cents an inning.
That's fun. That's a great story. I love that.
Yeah.
10 cents an inning. Wow. And that's good money back in the day.
It
right?
was.
9 innings is 90 cents.
90 cents was a lot.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, it's funny to
'Cause-
think about that. Yeah.
Because in the farm, I made $4 a day.
Wow.
8-hour day, $4 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's 50 cents an
Weeding.
hour. Yeah.
That was weeding. You're on your hands and knees for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Weeding with you had like a trowel, well, it wasn't a trowel, but like a hooking, sickle.
Yeah.
And you had to do all the weeds.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of manual labor for you guys growing up.
That's
Yeah, we
right.
did.
There was
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that kind of jobs were available.
Worked hard. Yeah, but it's like, your hard work you received money for.
You didn't even know it. You
Right.
know, we were just living on the farm, and I just never knew it. It was just something you did.
Yeah.
I do remember when the carnival came to town, and I lost some money on this funny gambling game they had because I was 15, and you had a chance to tear this thing down. They hired local people,
Okay.
but it took all night to do it. But I did it. I joined the work crew, this big greasy machinery you were taking apart and everything else, and so I earned back anything I'd lost.
Yeah.
But I had
Yeah.
to get up for church the next morning, and I got in about 4 a.m.
Oh my
You know?
gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. So you made your money back with your labor.
I made
that
my
night.
Yeah, right,
with my
right.
labor, right.
That's always gambling is something that people talk about a lot today because it's become more relevant with the legalization of sports betting. So it's just seeing how your labor went to go pay that off.
That's
It's
right.
funny.
Yeah. So with you.
So, what lessons, I guess, if any, were taught to you about money as you were growing up? I know parents today are talking about it a lot, like when they give allowances, they're trying to tell kids about budgeting. Was that something that was instilled in you guys growing up, or was it kind of like, hey, here's what you earned, do what you want?
Well, we didn't have much money to start with, and it was just stay out of debt, I think, was the thing.
Stay out of
There
debt.
was a horror of staying out of debt. Of going into debt. So I would say that was the principal lesson I had. There wasn't any guidance on saving or anything, but just don't spend more than what you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, today
Simple
that's
time.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think as I grew older and did do some work, I was a swimming instructor in town,
Yeah.
and I was young. So any money I earned there, I put away for college.
Yeah.
I had a little bank account that my
Good.
folks had started it up. And but as a kid, I can remember my mother and father taught me the importance of in Sunday school. We used to take a nickel and put it in a little basket.
Yeah.
And he said it was for the Lord.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's cute. So, I'm testing my knowledge of history here. I don't know when credit cards came out. I'm assuming, from the sounds of it, that if credit cards were available at the time, you would have been discouraged from using them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it probably would have been
Yeah.
debit. That way you're not
Right.
lending because, you can
Yeah,
accidentally overborrow and now you're in debt, just like you were talking about.
that's right. Yeah.
So growing up, you guys didn't utilize credit cards.
No.
no,
Yeah.
they
I
didn't.
can't
They
even-
weren't invented.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's how ancient we are. They
Yeah.
weren't invented.
Yeah, that's really true.
What was that like when credit cards came out? I'm sorry, I know it wasn't
I
on my
wonder
scripts,
now.
but
I know, and I wonder when it was too. 'Cause I
It
think was
didn't
the
affect
60s,
us that much.
60s, 70s? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
okay.
It has never affected
No,
us
it
that much.
doesn't.
It ingrained early before credit cards. So when credit cards came out, if you couldn't pay it off every month, then you wouldn't use them.
Just want to use it.
No.
Whereas, because nowadays people just keep using it.
Well, because
Yeah.
the interest rates are so high, we
Yeah.
were aware of that, and no, we've not even been tempted to.
Yeah. So you would say your generation was very mindful about staying out of debt.
Well, it was during the Depression when we were born,
Right.
and so
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've been in my friends' houses. Some they didn't even have a stick of furniture in the living room.
Yeah.
It's only since the war that we've been prosperous.
Yeah.
When we grew up before the war, there wasn't a lot of money around.
Yeah. I mean, the war ended in 1945, so I guess you were 9 and you were 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Remember it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I do.
So you guys were right before the baby boomers.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Immediately right before. So you're a silent generation. You're not
Yes.
baby boomers.
We are the
That's
silent
research I did.
generation.
Yeah, that research I did. So not baby boomers, right before the baby boomers.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
That's right.
technically speaking, because you could argue this has been the baby boomers had the single most prosperous time, and
Yeah.
it was really kind of like you guys setting it up for them.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and again, like you sacrifice different things for the good of your family. It almost feels like that was like a generational value
Yes.
for you guys. Is let's sacrifice to help the children. Let's
Mm-hmm.
put them ahead, and
Yeah,
I think they clearly benefited from
I
it.
have.
And people were ingenious. Like when the car that I drove to school in, or rode with somebody, he had a windshield wiper on his car that only worked one way. And he had a string out the window and he'd pull it back. And
That's great.
You could do there wasn't a car inspection, and people did stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know, and so they found ways to save money.
yeah.
To stretch a dollar.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, different ways to stretch that. I think what else I think about, because a lot of people in my generation, I think some of the things they say are fair is they're looking at what housing costs, what inflation has done.
Yes.
For a lot of people my age, it's really hard to save. It's really hard to do a lot of things that you may want to do. And I think that that's valid. I mean, I certainly feel it. I don't own a home yet.
Yeah.
However, what I'd say is like our daily quality of life, we have a lot of luxuries that maybe you guys did not have growing up, like
Air conditioning.
air conditioning. Yeah, I never even think about air conditioning. It's just known. Whereas you guys, not every building had air conditioning.
No.
A lot of modern comforts that we have were not available
Exactly.
during your time.
Yeah.
Not until we were married did we even have air
To
conditioning.
Lisa, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Wow.
yeah.
Growing up without air conditioning.
That was
Yeah.
64,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was.
That's a
1964.
lot. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
never thought about it.
Wow. So, when you look back on your life, what has been the single hardest financial challenge, and then how did you get through it?
The single one I would say was when I was out of work.
Okay.
That was tough. And I how did I get out? I did temp work.
Temp work, okay. What
Which-
period of your life were you out of work?
Well, we were married, and I had three. Did we
You
have
had three daughters,
We
yeah.
had all 3 daughters.
All
yeah.
3 daughters, okay.
Yep, and all of a
I think they were
sudden
they're getting married.
the firm just laid all these people off, and there I was.
Just got laid off.
And
yeah.
the mortgage is still coming in. I remember laying there with the rain dripping on the roof, and the electric bills too. And,
Yeah.
So I was a temp, making minimum wage, doing a different job. Sometimes we cleaned up after a fire. Sometimes we put computer waste into vats. I had a lot of weird jobs. You just reported. They don't seem to have that today, but they had these temp agencies, and I just reported for work, and
That was when the girls were older?
Well,
no, they weren't older.
No, they were the first time. Lisa was 6, so that
Okay.
would be 6, 8, and 10.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah,
But I remember it's very interesting because that was the time I remember Lisa was 6 years old and I was taking her to school and she had run out to the car first to hop in and she came running back in and she said, "Mom, you'll never believe. Jesus left a whole bag of groceries in the front seat." And I said, "Well, how do you know it was Jesus?" Because there was a note there that said, "Love Jesus."
Oh, cute. That's cute.
So people were really helping us.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the
how
community
we
looked
did.
out for one another.
We did.
Right.
I think one thing when you went through that, were you able to stay out of debt, or did you have to take on some debt in order to get by?
We didn't take on debt. No, we didn't.
Okay,
Yeah, we
that's
got
good.
In
straight
fact, I
by.
cleaned houses for a
Yeah,
while.
you cleaned
Yeah,
houses.
so you
I went out.
tried to do whatever you could to stay
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I cleaned houses for $4 an hour, and I think it's
Wow.
over like
Yeah.
100 more today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great you guys are able to do that. I think that's another thing that maybe today people are saying if they're working minimum wage or doing things, it's still hard. Like, they still sometimes feel like in order to feed and to get groceries and pay rent, like, I have to take on debt.
Yeah.
You know, that may be a difference in generations, but it's great you guys were able to do what you could to stay out.
Yeah, we
I'm
were.
sure there was life sacrifices too. You know, you guys cut back, I'm sure, on
That's
I bet
that's
you guys
really a
weren't
key.
taking great vacations. You were.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's right. See,
right.
it is a mindset because, you just have to live within your means and learn to
Yeah.
do that. Because I think too, our kids grew up probably a lot more affluent because we had more as we got moving,
Yeah.
and in a way we spoiled them a little bit, So
Yeah.
when they got married, they had a lot more than we had when we first got married. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that, you just learn you have to do a way you can't have everything.
Yeah.
You can't have everything that mom and dad have.
Yeah.
You got to wait. You got to work it out.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta buy
Yeah.
cheap groceries and
Yes,
yeah.
you do.
Yeah, coupon shop and
Yeah.
Right.
find anything you can to cut
I can-
costs.
I can remember when Pop was working in industry, he needed a suit, all the time and to traveling and different things. And I just go to the thrift store and I get these beautiful suits. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And I just have them for $20. I'd have them resized or whatever. And he was sharp.
Yeah.
The main line was a very affluent area,
Yeah,
and
mainline
affluent
Pennsylvania.
people left stuff in these thrift stores that were attached to the hospitals.
Yeah.
And
They're beautiful.
I would get a $20 suit. Oh, the one that said handmade in Hong Kong. Two red dragons in the inside pocket. Yeah.
That's funny. I can picture you in that suit. That's great.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. We just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dottie was a stay-at-home mom, and with her thrift shop, she contributed to the family income with the savings that she created.
Yeah.
Like we got a fur-lined Marlboro Man. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
In the bats, well, he'd always be on a horse riding through the snow. He'd have a
Smoking a Marlboro.
a sheepskin-lined coat.
Yeah.
She came home with that. It had to be worth $200.
Wow.
And she paid $18 or something for it.
Yeah.
And, that kind of thing.
Impressive.
That got us through,
Yeah. So next question, and we've talked a little bit about this. What do you think is the biggest difference between the modern attitude young adults have, so people like me and my generation, versus when you guys were my age, so when you were, late 20s, early 30s?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest differences you think we have in regards to how we're thinking about money?
Well, I understand, and it may be a generation a little behind even you, that they don't want any debt at all. They've learned what the boomers have done when they got into such debt.
Yeah.
They even rent the furniture,
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
And so we never went to that extent.
Yeah.
We wouldn't lease and rent stuff.
Yeah.
You owned it or you didn't. Well, maybe you'd rent an apartment, but I mean, anything else you'd never lease or rent. And yet today's generation is not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Even to the extent they don't even want to own a car.
People
Where we
are
would
leasing
say
cars, yeah.
we wouldn't want to lease a car. We would own a car.
Yeah.
So I think and they're more conscious of money. I really must say that until Nixon took us off the gold standard and we started to have inflation, people didn't talk about money. They didn't think that much about money.
Yeah.
Today, it's almost in every decision you make, but in those days, it wasn't. I mean, bread was 4 cents a loaf, gas was 10 cents a gallon.
Yeah, so it wasn't in the cultural zeitgeist to talk about egg prices.
Right.
Whereas now, I mean, when my wife and I shop, we're like, all right, what are eggs looking like now?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah, that was 1970. That's when Nixon
Yeah.
Yeah, took
And-
us
South
off the
Dakota
goals.
said, and that did make a
And-
difference.
But that is the big difference. We just didn't think about money that much. We thought about it in general, but you just didn't, you know.
If you didn't
Yeah.
have it, you didn't spend it.
Right. And that's just kind of like how you lived. So it wasn't something that was on your mind as much.
No, it
Whereas-
really wasn't.
Whereas now it's definitely
I
think
did.
my generation it's talked about a lot is how expensive everything is. And
Right.
how much housing costs, how can we own a home? Like if the median home price is $450 and median salary is $75, what are you going to do?
It's horrible.
And see,
Yeah.
we bought our first house for $800 down, right, and
Yeah.
$480 a month.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
It's
were
ridiculous.
earning maybe 6,000 to 8,000 a year.
Right.
But even so, when you look at $80 a month
Yeah.
as a percentage of what I was bringing home,
Yeah.
it's much lower than what you guys are dealing with today.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you still have maybe more optimal housing conditions.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, people talk a lot about what that could be. It's private equity buying up homes. Just
Well,
It's
the
a reality.
game has changed.
It's a reality.
Yeah, the game has changed.
well, we're
Homes are
printing
more
more money.
expensive. Yeah.
Everything. Like stamps were 3 cents.
Yeah.
The last time I went to the post office, it's 87
87.
cents for a stamp.
Yeah.
And that's just because the value of the dollar has continued to slide as they printed more money.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean the dollar. I mean even 2020, and everyone talks about it, like COVID, like that's what everything was. I mean, my brother Andy, he was able to buy a home in 2020, and I'm sorry, Andy, to pick on you. That home has like doubled in value in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
If you think about that,
Yeah.
right? And his interest rate was probably a third what interest rates are nowadays.
Right.
So even in the last 6 years, that's not even a generational difference. That's
Yeah.
just like a 6-year difference.
That's just reality.
Yeah, you know
Yes,
what has happened to make it like that, and it's lifestyle adjustments. You know, we have to adjust. We have no choice. My wife and I are renting because we really have no choice. It's going to take us years to save what we need to.
Right.
Um,
Unless the thing starts.
unless the market crashes
Yeah.
or even
something.
comes down. It even comes down. You know?
Yeah, not necessarily cheering for a crash,
No.
just
No.
something to happen. So I know there's a bill that they're mulling over. I think people are playing politics on it, but it would essentially limit what private equity can buy, how much real estate they can own, which
Yeah.
I've always argued, because we talk about it a lot. I talk about it with friends and coworkers a lot, is what leads to this. So again, some people blame immigration. That's not necessarily my stance. I'm like, all right, but to me, that's not the answer.
Yeah.
To me, the answer is more private equity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just trying to take away the private ownership
Yeah.
is very important to keep. That we keep.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we have in America
Yeah.
is property owner, that we can own something.
Yeah.
And I think for your generation, Stephen, it's difficult
Yeah.
to have private property.
Well, I can't compete with BlackRock.
No.
I can't. How am I supposed to compete
That's right.
And
with
that-
millionaires?
There really should be
Right.
a law. There
Yeah.
really should be.
To me, that's more the answer than blaming my neighbors. Like,
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I blame them.
Yeah. That's what up to.
Yeah. So hopefully we see some progress there.
Yeah. Right.
So if you guys could go back in time, and I put 25, but I'll say 28, when you're my age.
Yeah.
And if you could go back in time to the 28 version of yourself and give advice, what would you say?
Well, the first thing is, and I don't hear it said as much, I would want people to understand the difference between debt and surety. Debt is like when you mortgage a house. If you fall behind on your payments, the bank takes the house and you know nothing more.
Yeah.
But surety is when, like you buy a car, you drive it off the lot, you suddenly want to return it. Now you've found there's a big difference between what you can get for it.
Right.
Even if it was a week later,
Right.
then you put yourself in surety.
Yeah.
Unless you have the money on hand for that difference,
Yeah.
you know. Which the rule I would make is, as some guy said, maybe a second car, I would like, don't pay anything, don't buy a car you can't pay cash for.
Yeah.
But that would be the number one lesson.
Okay.
Don't go into surety. even in business, if you default, they take the inventory or whatever the collateral was,
Right.
and
Right.
you're free and clear.
Yeah.
So you're not in surety.
Right.
That's the number one lesson.
Is
To
to
me.
avoid surety.
Avoid surety.
Okay. Yeah.
That would be the number one thing
Yeah.
that I tell myself.
Yeah.
And I have a whole other series of lessons if you want me to do. I'd say save more, but IRA, Roth, they weren't available.
Right.
Those
It
type
was
of
mostly
things.
pensions, right? Pension was kind of the idea of
Yes,
retirement for
it
you.
was a guaranteed pension.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got rid of that.
Right. They had to.
Yeah.
Inflation was just destroying their ability to do
Yeah.
that. But that would be the thing, which was another reason people didn't talk about money. You worked 30 years, retired, and which my uncle did.
Yeah.
He worked for General Motors for 30 years and retired and played golf for another 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, and you just can't.
You can't do that today.
Can't do that today.
Yeah.
But that would be the number one thing is don't go. To have a margin of safety would be that's what Warren Buffett talks about all the time. By to have a margin of safety, which in Dave, what's his name, Ramsey, is his $1,000.
Yeah. That needs to be like 3,000 now.
He says, well, but the idea is to have a margin of safety for
Yeah.
emergency. Because I understand 47% of the people in this country cannot afford a $400 emergency.
Right. Yeah, no,
Which is
it's
multiple.
significant. The stat that I use is 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. In my financial seminar, but I've heard that 400 number as well.
Yeah.
And that's meaningful, you know, because
Yeah.
life does happen.
Yes.
And you can't control it.
No.
And when it happens, what are you going to do? That's why a lot of people look at debt.
Yeah.
You know, what are they going to do? They don't have the savings.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that bill is coming regardless.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But there's there's a whole lot of other things that I was thinking of as you would think that I kind of go through with people. For instance, if you have a family, you do need to get disability insurance. You're 6 times more likely to be disabled than you are to die. And so to become disabled and your wife have to carry.
Yeah.
And then to always buy term insurance.
Versus
Life insurance is not a good investment.
Okay.
Okay, that guarantee component added on is far too expensive. You don't get a good return. Term insurance, I did term insurance up until the point where all 3 girls had left the home.
Yeah.
So Dottie
Yeah.
could always stay home
Yeah.
raising the girls until the last one was out of the house.
Yeah.
So that would be the other thing I've thought about. And also you should always be aware, which some guys are not, of the benefits of Social Security for widows. They do supply a significant benefit so that the wife can stay home until the youngest child's 18. Yeah, it's
I
something
didn't know that.
Yeah, it is something to be aware of
Yeah.
if there's children involved.
Yeah.
I try to keep expenses to one income.
If that's possible,
That's
but
a-
that's hard to do nowadays.
Well, I know, but Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah,
not my
yeah.
favorite person,
Yeah.
she and her mother wrote this book, The Two Income Trap,
Yeah.
and made the point that the families that get in trouble are the two income families
Yeah.
because they live up to the 2 incomes, whereas the 1 income family, the one that isn't earning income is the safety net.
Yeah.
And so there's a margin of safety there that a 2 income family living up to 2 income doesn't have.
So it would definitely be my preference for my wife to have the option to not work. I think what's so hard is with the cost of living being what it is, what
Yeah.
choice do you have?
Yeah.
You know, like if rent is, I'm just using pretend numbers, if rent is $2,500 and the average income is $75,000, like
Yeah.
at some point it's a math problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not even like a choice or a lifestyle choice. It's like simple math. Both of us have to work.
Yeah.
I agree. I think about it a lot. None of my sisters really had to work. Some of them do because they choose to. They do different things. So, Andrew's wife, Amy, who
Right.
Yeah.
writes books, they do a lot. Like, their lives are busy, their lives are full.
Yeah.
But they've not had to work.
Yeah.
But I look at what their mortgages are.
Yeah.
I look at the type of mortgage and the market, what's available to us. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it is a math problem.
Right.
So, but I agree. I would love if we could avoid that.
Yeah.
That would be my preference. At least for her to have the option.
It's something to shoot for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
But
is.
there is a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
We that's one thing we learned
Yeah.
growing up, and it's really the importance of sacrifice. You do have to do away with some things in order to have.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think that this generation, to some degree, they want everything that their parents had, and it doesn't work that way.
No.
I mean, they forget that their parents had to really work to get where they are.
Yeah, to some degree. I think so. What's interesting, because there's a generation between me and you, right? There's the boomer generation.
Yeah.
And the critique for the boomers is that college was affordable, housing was affordable. Like, they were given like the most prime economic conditions possible because of you guys. So because of your generation, the values you did.
Yeah.
The complaint with the baby boomers is that they pulled the ladder up with them. So they went up the ladder, and through the policies that they voted for, or whatever it is that you want to say, they pulled up. So you guys made a better life for your children.
Yes.
And this isn't true for me because I love my parents. My parents are awesome people. So it's not true for me. A lot of what people in my age group are saying is my grandparents provided a great life for my parents, and my parents looked at me and said, make your own way.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the criticism is, my parents had it easy. My grandparents had it hard. My parents had it easy. I have it hard. Is
that what your generation?
That's what my generation's saying.
Yes.
Now, I think that there's degrees of truth in it, but also, like I said, I think there's still levels of sacrifice that the boomers had. Like, there's quality of life things boomers had, like we talked about. You guys did not have air conditioning growing up.
Right.
Yeah.
When you look at the life, like the quality of life I live when it comes to air conditioning and travel and all things like that. I probably live a better life than the richest man in the world in the 1800s.
Yes.
Just regarding the healthcare that I have access to and the things I get to do.
Right.
So your quality of life does go up. So I would say my generation has a generally better quality of life than the boomers, but they don't have the same economic conditions that the boomers had. So everything's more expensive and it's hard to get ahead, but we have access to more luxury items.
Well, and the boomers aren't retiring.
Yeah.
So you can't go up there either. There's a ceiling there too.
Yeah.
There's a complaint about that. Although AI coming in may wipe out the boomers.
It's interesting.
They do, because they can't keep up with it. Yeah. But and in truth, in support of the boomers, the politicians, meanwhile, were printing money. Yeah. And the value of the boomers' earnings were going down, which is one reason they couldn't say to you, I'll pay all your college, and so forth.
Oh,
they
yeah,
got
for
caught
sure.
in that trap. We did not do a good thing by printing all that money. We betrayed the world, really.
Yeah.
We promised the world that the $35 would buy an ounce of gold.
Yeah.
And we used to have the gold to back that up.
Yeah, and then we went off the gold standard.
Well, because they kept printing more dollars.
Yeah.
And then the country started demanding the gold, realizing what was happening.
Yeah.
So we're in a mess today.
And that's when Nixon did that.
Yeah.
So that, in defense of the boomers, they had that to deal with.
Yeah.
Give gifts, not loans.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you're not going to get it back anyway.
Oh, for sure, especially in dealing with family.
Yeah. That's, yes.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing. I don't very often go up against a lawyer, but a widow, wanted to sell her house and was having trouble getting a buyer. And the lawyer suggested, well, this couple that couldn't get a bank loan, you take the mortgage for them. And I thought, a bank has clout if you default. Yeah. You have nothing.
Yeah.
And I had to tell her not to even go near that.
I agree with you. That was good advice, Pop.
because, but that's the kind of thing that's out there if you're not careful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. So I think bringing more, I guess, to a broader picture of
Yeah.
general principles, what values are more important than money?
Marriage.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, 67-year marriage.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And just attachment in general now.
Yeah.
You need to have a community and a family or something.
Yeah.
You cannot isolate yourself these days.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Well, it's bad for your mental health. Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Your health. I
Yeah.
always remember a guy saying your health is your wealth, and
Yeah.
to some extent that's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So I would say that, and that's one reason the church is so good.
Yeah, it
You know.
provides that sense of community for people. If
It
someone has
does.
a need, it's a lot easier to meet the need. If anyone's picking up audio, we have an uncle in the house who's
Yeah, right.
working on something, but
Right.
that's all
Like
right.
that pounding meat.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh dear.
I'm not worried about it. Just the audience can bear with us.
I think
Very
Okay.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I would, one thing I wanted, this may be not quite on the total topic of this one question, but I was just thinking, the thing that meant a lot to me was values. Was my mother put a lot of good values into me.
Yeah.
When we went through, my father went bankrupt as a farmer twice in my life,
Wow.
and we had very little.
Yeah.
Very little. But I never knew it.
Yeah.
My mother was extremely creative, and one of the things she was very creative about, she was a wonderful seamstress. She was a school teacher,
Yeah.
and we had to wear little dresses to school in those days. But she just taught me the value of I don't know.
Well, the grain bags.
Grain bags,
They
yeah.
made
Yeah.
dresses out of grain bags.
Yeah.
Because
Make
they,
do with what you
the
have.
to
That's
make
cute.
whatever it
Yeah.
is, yeah. And I would jump up on the back of the truck, once a month, and pick out my own color
Yeah,
of dress.
Wow,
because
yeah.
the grain companies knew that,
They had-
and they made grain bags in all different patterns. And
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Well, my mother was very good that way. And
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. But because I never knew the pain she was going through, she kept it from me.
So you never knew that you guys didn't have much money.
No.
That's consistent with how I grew up. Because my dad, we qualified for food stamps, right? Like we
Right.
were poor,
Right.
but I never felt poor in my childhood.
No.
Never, because my parents loved me.
Yep.
My sibling, we had a healthy family.
It goes
Yeah.
a long way.
It does. I never felt poor. I never felt like, man, I want that. Like I knew kids had more toys and more anything.
It didn't
I
matter.
just didn't care. Yeah.
It is on a value too. It is too. I think kids really one of the strongest values that kids need is to see mom and dad really caring about each other. That
Yeah.
they really do love each other.
Yeah.
Because if you tear a parent apart, the kids are torn apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I would value your marriage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Work it
guys-
out. If you're having trouble, get help.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have a great marriage, and you have, again, 67 of us going to celebrate tomorrow. Clearly, something comes out of that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
and again, and that I think that's what you chose over prestige and different
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
I really think it speaks well of your character, and again, I don't think any yacht in the world could replace the value of what you guys are going to experience, at your birthday.
No,
True.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. True
Yeah.
enough.
So.
The grass is never greener, Stephen.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
isn't. The sun shines on both sides of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Actually, there's a question that I want to ask you guys on here. What has been? Because we've had different economies, different decades, all kinds of different circumstances. What has been the one lesson that you could drop that piece of advice anywhere throughout your lifetime and it would be applicable? It's a tried and true lesson that stayed true to the test of time. Because again, a lot of the financial nuance today may be different than it was generation before that. What's been like universally true your whole life?
Mine would be as a wife whose mind is to take care of the finances of my home. My husband gives me so much money, and I have to take care of the
Right.
food and and the
Right.
children, the clothes, and everything. Is to not spend more than what I get.
Yeah, just don't spend what you have. Don't
That's
spend
right.
more than you can.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And don't care what the neighbors say.
Yeah. Don't keep
Yeah.
up with the Joneses.
Nope.
You
Right.
don't They bought a new car. You're not buying a new car.
No, a car's a car. It's just
They
four. It's just
went-
four wheels.
Yeah, they went on a fancy vacation. You're not going on a fancy
No,
vacation.
That's
Like,
right.
It's okay. Just live within your means, like you know.
It is. It's
Yeah.
really, that's very important.
Yeah. Adjust your life to live within your means. And I think we would say your family will still be happy and prosper and thrive if you live within your, because as long as there's a healthy and happy marriage with people who love each other, that's what's
It
going to
goes
matter.
a long ways.
That goes a lot more than
It really does.
It does.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
So the last question here before we wrap up is, what would be the financial lessons that you hope would pass down generationally, right? So not just your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, and not necessarily like pragmatically, just the mindsets about money. You know, some of the principles, right? Because I'm sure you would say choose family over money. I'm sure that would be one.
Yeah. And debt and surety.
Debt and surety.
Know
would be
the
other,
difference. Know
Yeah.
the difference. Because the world gets nasty when you can't pay your bills.
Oh yeah.
All the smiles disappear. You know.
I talk about
people-
compound interest, right, in my seminars. I show people how it works. Compound interest can work against you too.
Yes.
When you start paying more than what you have, or you start living in debt, that debt is going to compound beyond out of control.
That's right. That's
It
right.
is. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's I think would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said a lot of, I agree.
Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, I guess a lot of what you said here would be answering that question.
Yeah. It's
I don't-
amazing. It's been wonderful,
Yeah.
though, Stephen. It's
And I think today, when you get an education, you're coming out of high school, look and see it's not what you love, it's what you're good at. Scott Galloway makes a big thing about that.
Okay.
And look what the market needs.
Yeah.
Now, I know some are beginning to, we need plumbers, we need electricians.
Oh,
we
trade
need,
school stuff.
Yeah.
And look at what AI is going to take the place of, and steer clear of that.
Yeah.
Be realistic, that it's not like the old days where there were a lot of unskilled jobs around and you could always, you can't. My dad worked his way across the country. They got in a car, drove. When they'd run out of money, they'd work for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they'd pile into the car and move. You can't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
There aren't that many unskilled jobs around and so forth. So you've got to, and that's the other thing. I would think, particularly girls, should stay near home. Don't get disconnected from your family.
From the family, prioritize home over career, the same
Right.
way you did, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that goes
That's
both
right.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
think that's really has been.
Both need to unite and say we're both choosing each other in our household and our family over
Right.
our respective careers.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's wonderful.
Because the women are the connectors.
Yeah.
And guys, I think, sense sometimes the girls that go to New York and Washington to jumpstart their careers, and they cut off all their ties. And I think the guys sense, well, if we got married, I'd have to be the connector. We're not good at it. We're not good at it, guys.
I could not bring the value that my wife brings or my mom brings, like the
That's
value
right.
that some of the women in my life bring.
Right.
And it should be that way.
Yeah.
The women
Makes a
bring
good
tons of value.
Yeah, it really, really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want our kids, I want our children and great grandchildren to really value that. It's so interesting. My husband tells a story of, in the Crusades,
Yeah.
when the Crusades were happening and how they would come and be water baptized, but they'd hold their sword up out of it, meaning that I'll give you everything, Lord, but you can't have my sword.
Right.
So I think that really is a picture of, I would say to our great-grandchildren, don't let money possess you.
Yeah, so the money would be like the sword. Like, God, you can have everything, but you can't have
You can't
this.
have my
Don't have your
pocketbook.
wallet.
The wallet, that's
Yeah.
good.
It's
way to
more
say it.
blessed to give than to receive. That's that. It really is. God gives back.
Yeah.
He really does. What you sow, we do reap. So sow financially, and you'll reap financially.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Give and you shall receive.
Yeah.
I want my great grandchildren to
Yeah.
really live in that.
I think it is. It's like what you guys said. and how you've lived. I think your life kind of tells the story of when you prioritize kindness, family, community, generosity, and you put good life values first over being like shrewd business people.
Oh yeah.
What you have is more valuable than any mansion, any yacht, any fancy vacation.
Yeah.
So I really think your life tells that story.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's been such an honor having you guys. Sorry, do you have anything?
No, this is great.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being on here. This is really special.
Well,
and,
we're on it to do it.
Yeah, all right. Love you guys. That's going to be the end of the episode. I've looking at you guys the whole time, but you looked at the camera. So,
Yeah.
All right. I really appreciate it. Thank you.